Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It's Jan here. Thank you for joining me. It's been a few days since I've made a video because I haven't been very well, so I've sort of been in and out of hospital and that, but I'm back now and that's fine, so we can press on with the next part of the kind of string of videos that I said I was going to do. So people have asked me how I did the tags for the Tussie Mussie and tag bunting. So I'm going to show you how to do the tags and also how to put the bunting together, hopefully today. Right, okay, so this is the overall tag measurements, and I hope you can see this okay, because I can't take a photo of it and put it on the instructions underneath. For some reason it doesn't let me do that. But anyway, so you need a piece of cardstock to match your design that you're using. So today I'm going to use this one, and you need it, and it also needs to be backed. It needs to be quite relatively firm, I'd say, really. So I've put it onto a bit of thin cardstock as well. So this is my designer paper on a piece of cardstock, and the way that I cut it is and in all of these videos and things like that, don't forget that you can do what you like. This is just how I do it. So I started with a rectangle of cardstock, which is 4 3/4 inches from top to bottom, and then I found the midway point, and it is 2.5 inches across from side to side. Then I found the midway point, which is 1 1/4, both top and bottom, and drew a line down that. And then I measured up 1.5 inches from the bottom of this rectangle and drew a line across, and going from the center, because we've got it all marked out here, going from the center to the points, I drew 2 lines. So that's the bit that we cut out here. That's scrap, we don't want that. Right, I also drew a line down the center that was 3/4 inch and marked that in as well. And what you're going to need here, I happen to use a die cut shape that looks like that, but you don't have to. So I've marked on here like you know, like a circle die or part of a circle die. You can use any shape you want, but these are the rough measurements that you want. You want it to be slightly wider, about 1/4 inch either side of the tag wider. So if the tag is 2.5, you want the actual piece that you're going to put across the topper piece is got to be 3 inches. Okay, and it needs to come down about 3/4 inch. So an oval you could use, or you could use part of a larger circle, anything you like. You could actually just use a square, you know, a rectangle, and fold it in half if that's what you want. Okay, so, and then we're going to put that on the top, and then that leaves you with a gap of 2.5 by 2.5, and that's the bit in the middle that we're going to decorate for the tag. Right, okay, so that's your measurements. Let me move that out of the way, and I'll show you very briefly how we put it together. So I have my tag here. It's a little bit on the wrinkly side, and this is my topper, and I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to let it overhang the 2 sides by about 1/4 inch. So let's just see if I can find the middle-ish, which is about there, and then I'm going to stick that down. So just ordinary, you know, whatever you use for your paper glue is fine. It does need to be fairly sturdy, these things that we're making. So you know, it like paper wouldn't work. You need it to be like a cardstock. Hold on, that's moved. Right, so you just add some glue, make sure you get it lined up in the center. Oh, the other thing is to fold whatever shape you've cut out, you just fold it in half, so that you know, you've got the same on the back and the front. So that's going to be my front, and then I just turn it over and do the same on the back. I'm not actually going to use this tag, but I'm showing you how to make them today. So some more glue on the back and make sure it's pressed down firmly. So as with everything that I've said in the other videos, I would strongly suggest that you do any of your glittering or anything like that first before you do anything, because it's much more difficult once it's all starting to sort of come together. Hold on, I can feel that my glue is beginning to seize up, which is an absolute nuisance. Just give me a moment. Right, okay, that's fine. So now we have this shape, and now into this I'm going to use my little cutter thing. Let me just make sure I'm still in shot. I am, which keeps on seizing up on me. And this is for setting eyelets, but if you've got anything else that will do this sort of shape, and you want to cut two reasonably good size, I don't know what size this is actually. Let's see if I can measure it. It is, hold on, let's have a look. It's hard to say, it's really hard to say. So if that's there, that's there. It's about an eighth of an inch. Yeah, yeah, it's about 1/8 of an inch, the diameter of this. But you need them to be reasonably sized because you've got to thread the ribbon through. So just round about the edge of where the actual tag goes here, and down a bit. So I'm going to use this white line here, is where you need to punch a hole on both sides. And as I say, that's where we're going to put the ribbon. Okay, so let's make sure I've got some strength in me today. There's one, and let's go down a bit and across a bit, so about there. Oh, crikey, it's tough. There we go. So it's got 2 holes in it now, and that's where we're going to thread the ribbon, as I say. So now comes to the decorating part, and that's really pretty simple, to be honest with you. You just, some of your pieces that you've probably die cut already, which is what I'm trying to encourage people to do, is get a little stash of bits and pieces. I've got this one here, and I've also got, so it's going to be a bit crowded on the screen today. Hold on, let's see if I can move this over, move this down a bit. So these are just all sort of odd bits and pieces really that I've put together that are all also feature on the actual Tussie Mussies and that. Right, let's see if I can fit this in this screenshot. Yeah, okay. So I've got some of these which are, I just cut them out and embossed them, and these are just in my stash at the moment, and these are just over 2.5 inches across. So I thought about, we could use a green one because it's got the green in it, maybe even a gold one, the same. On some of my tags, which I'll show you in more depth in a minute, I've used one of these little rosettes that I showed you how to make in a previous video, but this one, I just think this is a bit small, but anyway, we'll soon see. I've got some of the, I've got a couple of these that I've made up. I don't know if you remember these, they're the poinsettia clusters. I did them in several colours. This one's white because I happen to have a few of those over. This is a slightly smaller one because I don't know yet what size will look best on it. And then I've just got a variety of, hang on, that's decided to stick. I've got a variety of die cut leaves and you know, bits and pieces like that we're going to put around the outside, and as I say, I've put some glitter and pearls and all sorts of things all over them at the moment. So it's just about what you've got in your stash or what you want to use. Okay, I've got some little pieces of paper and ribbon that I've cut, you know, like the end bit. I made it into a fishtail. You don't have to. I have a wooden shape. All I've got left now is Merry Christmas. I haven't got any others. I'm not going to buy any more Christmassy ones at this point because I'm coming to the end of my Christmassy stuff. I've got some die cut snowflakes that are made out of that white glitter paper that's the same as the poinsettias, and I've got a few little gems, and I'll tell you about why I've kind of chosen those ones. And what I've used is Memento ink. It's a dye ink, but I don't really understand the difference between dyes and all the rest of it, so it just happens to be that I like the colour. And this is called Northern Pine. Some wet glue and some of my invaluable little pegs, which I'm going to use. So basically you have this now like this, and I went round the outside with the ink pad just so that you can't see that white cardstock round there. I don't think it needs it round the top. It's just, you know, I don't think it needs it. So I'm just going to put that out of the way. Right, so now it just depends on what we're going to use. So on some of mine, as I said, I used one of these, but this is a bit small and I haven't had time to make any bigger ones. So let's move these out of the way a minute. So what I thought I would do is, if I'm going to use this one, I'll put it on a backing like that. But also, can you see this? Yeah, just about. I'll put it on a backing like that. But also on some of mine as well, which I'll show you when I come to, I've just used the backing because that's like really nice as well. I really like that as well. It depends on how much fussiness you're going to have on your, you know, as the decoration. So for example, if I was going to use just that on its own and think that was big enough, then probably my big poinsettia would be too big for it. It would really overshadow it. So I would have to think about using the next size down poinsettia cluster like that, right? But you can make it look bigger. Like I say, you don't have to make another one. You can make it look bigger by putting it on a base like that. So you can put it on there. Makes it look bigger. It covers the whole of my aim is actually to cover the whole of the tag from side to side, from this bit here to this bit here, and then you can put like a bigger poinsettia on it, or bigger poinsettia cluster, because you know you've actually got that space there. That's what you're looking at. That's just, this here is then just part of the decoration. So you could do that if you want to. It does make it stick out quite a way, I must admit. So I probably won't go with this today, although I haven't got my mind made up yet. So I've also done a gold one to try that, see what it looks like. Same thing, I've just cut it out and then embossed it. So let's have a look at this. This is just really a make along with me because I don't know what I'm doing yet either. So, you know, yeah, that looks nice, but I just think it's too much contrast between the gold and the green and red. So for my liking, I think, oh, hold on, let's try this on it. Yeah, I mean, that would look nice. It's just that for my liking, I want it a bit more toned down, so it's a bit more in keeping. I mean, to be honest with you, the Tussie Mussies and all that are bright enough as it is. So I'm probably not going to use that. I don't think I'm going to use this one, so I'll put that out of the way. But I think I will go with this because it provides a nice sort of neutral background and it picks up on these colours. Because it comes from the same paper pad, they're the same shade. Right, so I'm going to go for that, and I am going to go for, let's have a look, see if I can do it. I think I'm going to go for the large poinsettia. I just think that looks really nice. Yeah, let's just try the smaller one there and see. Let's have a look. So it sort of gets a bit lost, doesn't it? You know? So yeah, I'm going to go for the bigger one. That's this one here. I'm going to pop that on there somewhere like that. So it's a bit offset. It's got some bits overhanging, but that's absolutely fine. That's not a problem at all. So I guess my first job will be to glue this down, but I'm only going to glue it in the centre. I mean, if you wanted to have a bit more dimension, you could put some of them raised, you know, those little raised foam squares, but I don't particularly want I don't particularly want it to come out any higher than it is already. Right, so you just put some glue in the centre. Let's just double check. I've got to keep double checking all the time because this is taking up a lot of room today. And I'm just going to stick it down in the centre and let it dry for a moment. And then all I need to work on, I can put the actual tag out of the way while I just work on this. So I want to make it into a rosette, and in order to do that, I'm going to use some odd bits and pieces. Like I've got some ribbon, I've got some bits of lace, just small bits, do you know what I mean? They're not like really big, but as long as they're all of the same sort of colour family, or you've used them in the, you know, the other tags or the other Tussie Mussies or something. So I've got these bits that I'm going to use, and basically all I'm going to do is stick them together, for which I'm going to need that gloopy glue, which is always a bit on the difficult side to manage. Hold on, let's move some of these little snowflakes. I thought I'd put some snowflakes on the tag as well to add a little bit more interest. But anyway, we'll see. So I'm going to go for my biggest piece in the middle, which is this one. And it's just an odd piece of ribbon. Actually, it's the ribbon that I'm going to make the banner out of. And I've cut it to about 3 3/4. I didn't particularly measure it, I just cut it. And it's about 3/4 of an inch wide. And then to that, I'm going to add maybe a bit of lace just to come off at an angle like that. I'm going to add a bit of this red that's the same as the top. So I'll probably put that round about there, just offset it a bit, maybe put it at the side. I've got a longer piece of this. Well, it's not longer, it's shorter actually, so let's just cut that top bit off just so that it really makes it shorter. Really, what looks good aesthetically is bits and pieces that are all different lengths. You know, it's just to give added interest. So I quite like this bit of lace as well, so I might put this bit of lace, this big bit, underneath. So let's move that over, put that on top of there like that. Hold on, like that. Put this bit on this side. This was actually a single piece of lace like that, which I cut up the middle because it's got 2 nice side edges. So I'm going to put that one there like that, just so that it sort of fans out a little bit. Just use your imagination. I'm going to put that probably down there. I'm going to put that probably next to it because I've cut it a bit shorter. I've got this one here, which is nice, so I think another longer piece might look nice there like that. And then I've got that bit which I really like, this tartan ribbon actually, and I'm going to put that there. So basically what I'm going to do now is use, or try and use, my gloopy glue, my 3-in-1, and stick it all together. The other thing I found that works, and I've done it on one of the other things that I'm going to show you, is to staple it. I don't know if it will staple through that lot. It might do. Shall I give it a try? Let's have a look. Don't know if we don't try, do we? It might not work. It might just be too thick, but if it does work, it will save a lot of work of gluing. Right. Well, it's done some of it, and it's helped because you're not going to see this anyway, so you know it's fine. Where did I put that? About there, wasn't it? Something like that. Let's have a go. Let's try. Put it about there. There maybe. A bit higher. Anyway, so for the rest of it, I'm going to go for the old 3-in-1 gloopy. But yeah, so it does go through a few layers. If that helps, you could do it in a couple of different layers, or just stick to the glue really, if you want to. Right, hold on. So that's going to go on there like that. I am going to put this over here, or should I put it there? No, I'm going to put it over there. It looks a bit crowded that other side. So I'm just going to stick this bit down. Bit of the old gloopy. As I say, I do apologise for not sort of having done this sooner, but I was in hospital for a few days, and then when I came out, I just needed to rest and recuperate a bit. But anyway, we're catching up now, which is fine. Right, let's stick the lid on this. And I think, having looked at it, I'm going to, so I haven't left it to dry properly really, but I am going to cut like an angle. Nothing scientific about it. I'm just going to cut an angle like that, and one like that. Hold on, oops. There we go, like that. So that's like a little tiny cluster of ribbons that are all at odd angles and bits and pieces. Let me just double check again. Yeah, I think I'm in shot. And basically I'm going to stick it to the back of this. So, right, decide which way you want up. Let's get rid of some of these bits. And I said, I think that I'm going to want, gosh, can't pick it up. I'm going to want it kind of like that. So this is the bottom for me, and that's where I'm going to stick this. So I'm going to put that on there like that, and it looks like the easiest way will be to put the glue actually on the circle. So I'm going to put a good dollop of glue on here like this. A really good old dollop of glue like that, and then I'm just going to position this over here. Don't worry about these bits. About as high or as low as you want it, say about there, like that, and just hold it down for a moment or two. These make really good tags for cards if you want to just make the tag, or they will make just a nice tag for a present or something. Excuse me, just taking a quick drink there. Right, while that's drying, that's not heavy enough. While that's drying, which I'm just going to leave it there, I'm actually going to attach some random little snowflakes on the back in here. I mean, you don't have to, obviously, you can do what you like with it, but I just thought it might look nice. So I'm just going to use a little dab of glue, ordinary paper glue. I use that Cosmic Shimmer, as I've said before. See, and the thing is, I don't mind if they overhang the sides and bottom a little bit, as long as it's not, you know, gone crazy kind of thing. I just think it adds to the aesthetics. There's a big word for you. Right, let's bung a bit of glue on here, like that, in the centre, and pop that up there. Now, depending on whether or not, or how much of this shows, I might put a gem in the middle, because I don't like snowflake that's got a hole in the middle of it. But we'll just say, once we get the centerpiece on it, we'll see sort of what shows, what doesn't show. So, and the same with one of these snowflakes as well. I don't know why they've done them with holes in the middle, but there you go, they have. So yeah, I would just put like a gem or something in the middle. And at the moment, I'm just sticking these down randomly. I've got no idea what will be covered by the rosette and what won't be. So yeah, don't take too much time over it. And you don't want too many of them, because basically that will take away from the interest of the actual rosette. Right, now, so I have got the rosette. It's pretty much dry, and I'm going to position it. So you don't see there, like, you know, some of these snowflakes are covered. This one here is going to be, that hole is going to be on show, so I'll stick a, I don't know, a gem on it, in which case I'll put a gem on this one as well. But yeah, I mean, you can be a bit more pedantic about it if you want to, and like, you know, like that one there, I probably would have put on afterwards so that it doesn't cover. But basically you want to end up with this. So this hangs down below, round about the centre here, like that, and looks very pretty. Right, okie dokie. So now comes time to stick this down. So I'm going to use gloopy glue again. I'm going to try and find out a way to use this where it doesn't keep, you know, like when you squeeze the bottle out, it keeps coming out afterwards. And there must be a way to stop it doing that, because you don't know if you lose a lot of glue that way. It gets like an air bubble underneath it. And I don't know, you lose a lot of glue, it makes a lot of mess. But the glue itself is really good. So I'm going to put a generous amount of glue on there, because what we don't want is for this to come apart. And where I'm thinking about hanging mine, not this one, because I'm going to use this as for something different, but where I'm thinking about hanging mine, it will be over a radiator, and the warmth from the radiator will unstick it all if I'm not careful. So that's why I'm using such a generous amount of glue. Hot glue is fine. I would use hot glue probably. It's just that mine, I haven't got a plug here where I'm sitting, so I can't like plug it in, and I'd be keep leaving the video. So that goes down there like that. And then the only other thing is I have got a variety of bits and pieces of leaves and things like that. Let's pop that back on there for a minute. Get rid of these snowflakes just for a moment. I might end up putting them back, but we'll soon see. I've got a variety of leaves and bits and pieces which I've pre-glittered, but please don't feel you need to. You can, or you don't have to. And really, I'm just going to poke them in under here. That's why I didn't sort of, you know, stick it right to the edges. I'm going to poke them in under there and just glue it down, so that you've got a nice little layer that comes underneath this thing. The only thing also with this is it takes a little while to dry, I find. So yeah, that's another reason for me not using this today. But these are so easy to make if you've got all your bits and pieces cut out first, which I totally advocate. So yeah, you just kind of bung them in where they look nice, where you think they look attractive. I might put that up there. Let's bung that in. You know, it's another one of those sort of mindless crafting tasks, like I like to call it. It's not meant to be rude or anything, but it's like, you know, you don't have to think too much about it. As long as you've got the right shapes and the right colours, anything will work. Keeps moving out of line there. I might pop some gold in there just to balance this bit of gold that I've got here. You're looking, when you come to designing these sort of things, you're putting them all together, you're looking for a balance. So what you do on one side, you kind of do on the other side as well, you know. And also be careful that you don't end up sticking things out like a clock face. You kind of angle them down or angle them up or something, just to create some interest. So that's quite nice, but I don't want that whole stem, so I'm going to cut this off about here. and that gives me another bit of stem that I'll save for another project. Don't throw nothing away, always keep it, because you're going to use it for something, that's for sure. I've got like this bit here that I cut off of something. That's definitely going to be used, you know, so just don't throw anything away. Try and use different shades of green, different textures. If you're, you know, if you're just using the green, try and use different textures, different shades. So I quite like this because this is actually the winter foliage. You know, it's pine leaves and that. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on the back here of this one. And I'm also going to put a bit of glue on the front. So I'm sure you kind of getting the idea. You just make it up as you go along. Whatever you do will look pretty. And it's just about finding a balance and deciding when to stop. You know, you can overdo it, but maybe you like that overdone look. Sometimes I do, actually. Or you can underdo it. Hang on, I wonder if that one will go down the bottom there like that. Oh, I haven't left a gap anyway. No, I haven't left a gap. Right, so that's enough of those, I think. That just leaves me now. Let's clear this lot out of the way for a minute. Oops, 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 oops. Sorry, it's a bit more disjointed, this video today, but there's not a lot I can do about that because it is, you know, by its nature a bit bitty, really. Right, do I need any more little snowflakes to accentuate it? Yeah, I might put that little one up there. That's quite nice. So where you've got, say, like a lot of dark green together, in order to give it a bit of a lift, tuck in something that's like white or gold or, you know, some other colour, so that it's not green on green on green. Like I might put one there as well, I think. I'd like to put it there, but it looks a bit of a straight line, so I'm going to move it across and put it here. Anything that draws the eye. You really, as I say, you really don't need to be as pedantic as I'm being at the moment. If you're doing these as individual tags, then yeah, spend a bit more time on it. If you're doing them as part of bunting, maybe not so much. Just, you know, just go with the flow. And the other thing I find is that actually if I'm doing, sorry, that's my dog. Sorry. Minty, Milo, stop it. Sorry about that. It's my dog getting a bit over enthusiastic. So, right, I've got nowhere really to put this. I would put it, if I was going to put it at the bottom, which I have on some of them, then I need a bit of substance. I need a bit of this card behind it to take the weight, because this is relatively quite heavy. So I would have to stick it here, and I don't really want to put it there. So I'm actually going to put it up the top there, like that. And again, we're back to the old gloopy glue. Back to old gloopy. And this one here came with a, like a, I don't know if that's actually peel it off or what you do with it. Oh yeah. But I still like to use a bit of glue and all. And just put a blob of glue on here. So how are you guys doing? Are you all sort of in the mood for getting ready for Christmas, or are you still trying to work through Halloween first? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't do Halloween personally. I don't do Christmas either, but I do New Year, but my family does Christmas, so you know, this is lovely for them. So that goes on there, and also it's for me to give gifts out to everybody else, which again I really love to do. So there we go. Right, now that one there requires something over the top of it. See what I mean about this glue? Look, it's continuing to come out all the time, and it ends up, you get a big load of it, which is a waste. But I don't know, I'll have to try and look up on YouTube or something, see if anyone's got any good ideas about how to stop that happening. because it's really irritating. Put my pin back in my little, oh no, I need it out actually. Right, okay, so because this is predominantly green, it would help if that went straight. Because this is predominantly green, I'm actually going to create a contrast, and there's quite a lot of white in it, otherwise I would use pearls. But my contrast I'm going to use is going to be like these red gems, which I'm going to put on here. So I want one that's going to go there. I'll probably put one in the centre of each of these and see how it goes from there. So I want ones that are not too big. So probably about that size. There we go. But I always use a little blob of glue as well. I never just trust it, because I find these, they might be sticky, but they're not really. They're not strongly sticky that I want anyway. Right, let's find another little one. That can go there. And sometimes as you're taking it off, you end up leaving the backing on there, on the sheet anyway. So that goes on, that's going to go on there. And again, you know, no reason why you can't mix and match and make these different sizes if you want to. So these two here, I'm going to put maybe slightly bigger ones. Maybe I'll put that down there. That's slightly bigger than the one that's up there. And I am going to put, oh look, I've got a little star there. Let's put that on. Never even noticed that. There we go, it's a little star. Pop that on there. Right, so basically that is your tags. That is your tags. Okay. And in the bunting, so if you're just going to use it as a tag, you just thread some ribbon through like that. If you're going to use it as bunting, we're going to thread it onto the ribbon. Right, let's get on with doing the bunting, because I really hope we've got time for this. And for this, I'm going to need this same ribbon that I've used here that I mentioned before. It's a soft ribbon. So you want something that's soft. You can use ribbon, you can use lace, you can use sort of whatever you want, but make sure it's soft enough to thread through the holes. And I think it looks better personally if it's kind of bunched up. So I'm using it wider than, you know, you would expect to use it. You can use 1/4 inch ribbon in here, but it just makes it look a little bit thin and thready. In order to go with the opulent look, I'm going to use this thicker ribbon. And that, as I said, I think was about 3/4 inch, wasn't it? Okay, so you're going to need a yard and 2 inches. So you're going to need 38 inches, 36 inches plus 2 extra inches for the ribbon. Okay, you're also going to need, for this length of bunting that I'm going to do, I'll show you it in a minute, you're going to need, I think it is 4 tags. Hang on, let me count up. 1, 2, 3, 4 tags and 5 Tussie Mussies. Okay, and that makes you a 3 foot spread, or 3 foot plus a bit actually. The other thing I've made, and you don't have to, but I have, is to make some of these, 2 of these, and that's pretty much exactly the same principle as this, except that I did use one of those folded, that's why I didn't have any left for the tag here. But I've used one of these pleated thingies, and then basically just done exactly the same on the back like that. And I stapled it and then stuck it down. So I've just bundled up a load of these bits and pieces of ribbon. I've used some of that, this is actually knitting thread. Unusual, anything that's unusual that fits in with your colour scheme. And this time I used the red, what they call them, poinsettia clusters. Where's the other one? So you're going to want 2 of these if you're going to do it like I've done it. So you want 2 that are roughly the same, pretty much the same. Right, let's move that out of the way because we're finished with that. Let it dry. So you're going to want 2 of these, and the loop of ribbon that I've put around the back, I just want it to show there and there, is, I think it was 4 inches. Hold on, would help if I got the right size. Yeah, it's 4 inches. And basically what I did was, before I stuck this down, I got 4 inches of ribbon. I bent it round in this shape like that, rather than just looped it. And I stuck it to the back with this strong glue here, the back of these sort of rosette things. And then I put this on. And then when we come to make the actual bunting up, I'm going to put the ribbon from the bunting on here and cover it again with another circle, because I want it to be like really sturdy. So you basically, whatever size ribbon you cut, and I think this is narrower. Yeah, this looks like about, I don't know, just over 1/4 of an inch, about 5/8, something like that, but still the same colour. I want it to just peek out over the top. And the idea being, sorry, let me just double check again that I'm still actually in shot. What happens is that I want these 2 to be at the ends with the bunting in the middle, and then all I have to do is hang these on the wall or the shelf. I'm going to hang it on a shelf in the kitchen, I think, she says. Not actually sure yet, but we'll soon see when I put the decorations up. Right, so now I'm going to do my best to show you the actual bunting, but being 3 foot and this is about a 1 foot gap, I'll show you it as best I can. You just have to bear with me. I'll try and post some photos on my groups so that you get to see it a bit better. Right, so let's move this out of the way. Let's move one of them out of the way for a moment. And I'm just going to bring this in, this bunting, because I have already threaded it together, because to be honest with you, it's pretty self-explanatory when you see it. It doesn't need a tutorial to show you how to do it. You'll see. Right, so this is, and it doesn't look at its best here because it needs to go out like that. As you string it up on the wall, it's going to look like this, okay? And I've used my little staples, which are these little pegs. I think they're absolutely brilliant. So you can see what I mean about the, let's just double check. Yeah, you can see what I mean about the thicker ribbon, because it goes in and it's bunched up. It looks nicer. So what I've done is I've put one of the Tussie Mussies at the end. It needs to be moved along a bit in a minute because it's just not in balance. Then this is going to go at the end and hang on the wall. It's all very decorative, isn't it? Very decorative, actually. So that's going to go like that. Then we're going to have one of these, then a tag, then another one. And as I say, in total you need 5 of these little Tussie Mussies and 4 of these tags. See, look, there's one where I had the word love, so I put that on there. I haven't actually got that much in the way of little wooden words, but I suppose I could have multi-die cut them, but I just like the sort of rusticness of the wood. Right, and I'm trying to undo this. I'm going to move it along a bit, keep going along like that again. Oops, like that, like that. It's a bit fiddly, but it's not too hard, and you just have to arrange them how you like them. Now I found, so there's another 3 with the tags like this. There's one where I've used, oh, there's 2 actually where I've used just that ruffle bit, and here's one. Let's move this along a bit. Here's one where I've just, let's get these out of the way so it's too confusing. Here's one where I've just used a flat bit and a bow. So yeah, like I say, this is all a bit confusing really. But basically, when you thread it up, let's go to the end up here, move all these out of the way. When you thread it up, with the tags, you put the ribbon through the front, it goes across the back and out the front, okay? And for this size, you want to leave a gap. So supposing I do all the tags first, you want to leave a gap of 6 inches. So take this off for the moment, pretend we're not attached that yet. You want to leave a gap of 6 inches between, in fact, I think that one's a bit more, but I do need to rearrange these a bit better actually. I just quickly put it together to show you. But yeah, 6 inches from hole to hole, and then you kind of bundle this up. You attach your Tussie Mussie. You can glue it if you want to. You can tie it on. You can thread this through. You can do whatever you want with it, however you think it looks best. And you put this at the 3-inch mark. They need, I would say, for this amount of decoration, in order to show off each individual piece, they need a 3-inch gap between this and this, this and this, this and the next one. And you also need, and this is why you've got the 2 spare inches at the end, you also need, so when you've used up your 36 inches, you've got 2 spare inches, one that's going to stick to the back of this, like that, and then be covered with a disc so that it's quite sturdy. So as you can see, I need to sort of move mine along a bit because I want 3 inches between here and here. So if I just take this one off for a moment, I can always put it back on. And then, you know, sort of at the end of the year or whatever, you just dismantle it and, you know, tidy them away. Right, so let's put some glue on this. Quite a bit of gloopy glue again. Quite a bit. Like that. As you can see, that is quite a bit of gloopy glue, but I like to be sure. And then I'm just going to stick this onto here like that. Hold on, stick it at the end like that. Hold it there for a moment or two. Make sure you get it the right way round. And I'm going to find my little pre-cut circles, so excuse me for a moment while I try to find one, because that's what I'm just going to cover the end with, just to make it look a bit tidy. I've got a whole bunch of pre-cut circles here. See if I can lay my hands on one. Well, of course not. No, they're those ones. Oh, can't find them at the moment, but anyway, I hope you get the idea. See if I've got a punch. I can punch one out while I'm talking to you. So I just want one that's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches maybe, something like that. Just this size die like that, which is pretty much what I put on the bottom there. And just any piece of scrap paper that matches. This is my little scrap pack. So this is what I've got left out of the pad that I use. Oh, the other thing is, when you're covering these, when you're covering the tags, say like this one here, let's see if I can get this one in focus. This one here, I used just plain book paper. And that gives a really nice finish, especially if it happens to be something that is about like Christmas, you know, if you've got Christmas story in a book or something like that. And I would stick this down with one of these sticks, these glue sticks, Prip stick or whatever you call it, and that stops it from curling up. Okay, and it's plenty, as long as it's got a good backing. Right, so any old piece of quite stiff paper, that might do. Like I say, I don't throw any of my scraps. Just don't, because you'd be surprised when they come in handy. There we go. One of those. And then I'm just going to use the same yucky glue. It doesn't have to match because no one's ever going to see it. It just needs to be really stuck down firmly. Sorry, I think I keep going out of shot. I'm not sure. But let's get as much glue on this as I can get. And then, you know, it's with this sort of thing, it's really down to you. You can make it as, you know, you can add as much decoration to it as you like, really. So yeah, I put that over it just to hide the edges, and then I will wait that for quite a while. So I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm just going to let it set itself up while I'm off camera. And that, my friends, is basically it. So I'm going to move these along when I'm off camera and fit this one in the end here so that it all fits together. And I will stick this one on the other end in the same way, so that I've got something to hang it up by, and I will post some photos. The other thing is, like with these aren't pegged on for any reason, they're just for decoration. For these ones, the Tussie Mussie ones, I have pegged it on, you know, it's functional, it holds that on there like that. But yeah, so I hope you've got something from this, and I hope that you can enjoy it and it gives you some ideas of some things to make. Just another tip, this is a 3-foot length. You can make it into, say, a 2-foot length by adding fewer tags or Tussie Mussies, so long as you keep sort of the 3 inches between it. I wouldn't make it longer than 3 foot in one long stretch. So if you need 6 foot, make 2 of them. If you need 5 foot, make 2 of them and let it drape a bit more, because it, you know, you can either have it straight or you can have it draped a bit like that. If you want 4 foot, make 2 2-foot ones, but don't make like a 3 foot and a 1 foot, because that'll look really odd. So yeah, you just have to fiddle about with it. The weight of it means that, and it's not very heavy, it is a weight though, means that if you do longer than 3 foot, it just doesn't hang right, you know, the things start turning in and that. So just try to stick to 3 foot or less, or 2 pieces. Okay, well, I really sincerely hope that most of this has been in shot for you. I hope that you've got something out of it. And yeah, if you haven't done so already, please do like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment, because, you know, I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to get my work out there and my ideas out there for as many people as possible. And the more interactions I get, the more YouTube will notice me and start popping my video up for people. So it really, really does help me. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and it will be lovely to see any results that you've made. Bye.